Summerhill Cinema 700 here. Hopefully you guys like that new cool little movie intro, or sorry, video intro there. If you're a cult movie fan, I bet you know what theme that is. Anyways, I wanted to talk about a little bit about one of my favorite films of all time today, The Dark Crystal. Now, we're not going to be talking about this film. We're going to be talking about the documentary on here, The World of the Dark Crystal, if you can see it there under the special features, The World of the Dark Crystal. Now, this documentary on here originally aired on PBS in 1983, so a year after the film was made, and basically, like I just said, it's not the book. There's also a book called The World of the Dark Crystal, but this is a documentary called The World of the Dark Crystal, and as I said, it originally aired in '83 as a TV documentary, but is available on the Dark Crystal DVD or Blu-ray. And you know, when it comes to the Dark Crystal, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I just love to talk about it. So, you know, revisiting this documentary today, it's amazing, and I highly recommend it for any Dark Crystal fans. You know, one thing that I'll mention about the Dark Crystal, one of the reasons I love it so much, you know, is because of the score and just the fact that it's just all the time and effort that they put into this and the puppetry. It's really a piece of its time, and they really don't make movies like this anymore, you know, with this amount of effort. And it's just incredible when you watch this documentary, The World of the Dark Crystal. I'll put this down for a second. It's just incredible, the amount of time and effort that it took to make the film. It blows your mind, and just how difficult it was, you know, to film some of these scenes. Like, I remember when, you know, so basically, like, the documentary is a lot about it's interviews of Jim Henson, Brian Froud, Frank Oz, and it's crazy. A lot of the stuff is behind the scenes footage. They show how different things were shot and how they did the effects. And you know, when you're watching the way that these puppets are animated, like, it's just crazy. When they were doing the Garthams, you know, the big shell creatures, they'd have a guy inside the outfit, and apparently this outfit weighed like 80 pounds, and he'd be walking around, and they'd actually have to hang the guy up so he could just rest after they were done shooting his scenes. So, you know, it's just amazing. And when you see when they're filming the puppets, Jim Henson will have his hand in the puppet, and he's walking along, and then they have like 6 other people on the ground with these other puppet things inside, controlling, like, the eyes blinking and moving around, and the limbs and stuff, and it's unbelievable. And the sets that they made in the film too, they're giant full-size sets, and like the only thing that was like not a full set in the miniature was the castle that was done in the film. So sorry if I'm kind of giving some of this away, but I really do recommend, you know, if you have the Dark Crystal DVD or Blu-ray, check it out. I'm not sure if it's available on YouTube, but it's called The World of the Dark Crystal, and it's the documentary, not the book. And yeah, it's an awesome documentary. If you're a fan of the Dark Crystal, or you want to just know more about how the film was made, I highly recommend The World of the Dark Crystal, and you definitely won't regret watching it. And like I said, a lot of it is interviews with, you know, like, the main people, that being, of course, Jim Henson, who, well, actually, you know, I'll just say first, I'll say Brian Froud, who came up with, you know, the designs for these creatures and inspired the designs for these creatures, you know, his artwork and his stories and books. Then you have Jim Henson, of course, who brought his depictions and drawings to life with the puppetry and his amazing puppetry skills, and of course the director Frank Oz. So again, you learn a lot about the Dark Crystal. You get to see a ton of original footage, behind the scenes footage, how a lot of the effects were done with all of the characters, the Garthams, the Skeksis, the Podlings, and what the hell are the main guys called again? Oh god, I can't remember. Anyways, guys, like I said, Gelflings. That's it. I highly recommend this for any of you Dark Crystal fans, or again, people who are wanting to learn more about the Dark Crystal. Check out The World of the Dark Crystal. God, I've said the Dark Crystal a lot in this Dark Crystal video, but I can't stress it enough. It's an awesome documentary, and it's really worth it if you have a Blu-ray player to get it on Blu-ray. It looks absolutely beautiful on Blu-ray. And you get a lot of special features on here too, like a commentary with Brian Froud, which I watched. That was really interesting. That documentary, The World of the Dark Crystal, original Skeksis language, test scenes, deleted scenes, and you get this cool little game on there too, a little Dark Crystal trivia game. So a ton of stuff. Highly recommend this Dark Crystal Blu-ray. And if you don't want to get this, if you have the DVD already, or you can probably find it online, it's The World of the Dark Crystal. So yeah, I just thought I'd come by with this little video, and yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great night or day. Bye.